Bhaktir Bhauti Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, text number 17 to 19. Alam Prajabhihi Shushtabir. Alam Prajabhi Shushtabir. Idrishibihi Sura Uttama. Idrishibihi Surottama. Maya Saha Dahantibihi. Maya Saha Dahantibir. Dishaha Chakshurbihi Ulbanaihi. Dishachakshurbir Ulbanaihi. Alam Prajabi Shushtabir. Idrishibi Surottama. Maya Saha Dahantibir. Dishachakshurbir Ulbanaihi. Alam Prajabi Shushtabir. Idrishibihi Surottama. Maya Saha Dahantibir. Dishachakshurbir Ulbanaihi. Alam, unnecessary. Prajabihi, by such living entities. Shushtabihi, generated. Idrishibihi, of this type. Sura Uttama, O best among the demigods. Maya, me. Saha, along with. Dahantibihi, who are burning. Dishaha, all sides. Chakshurbihi, by the eyes. Ulbanaihi, fiery flames. Translation by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Brahma told Rudra, O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with the fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me. Please repeat the translation. Brahma told Rudra, O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with the fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me. Next, I'll recite myself, 18 and 19. Tapa atishta badram te sarva bhuta shukahavam tapasaiva yata purvam shushta vishvam idam bhavan. My dear son, you had better situate yourself in penance, which is auspicious for all living entities and which will bring all benediction upon you. By penance only shall you be able to create the universe as it was before. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the creation, maintenance and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation, the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara or Shiva, are respectively in charge. Rudra was advised not to destroy while the period of creation and maintenance was going on, but to situate himself in penance and wait for the time of dissolution, when his services would be called for. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. By penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Perform penance as an example to his sons and followers, that penance is necessary for attaining the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the common mass of people follow the path shown by an authority. Thus, Brahma, disgusted with the Rudra generations and afraid of being devoured by the increase of population, asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted generation and to take to penance for attaining the favor of the Supreme Lord. We find therefore in pictures that Rudra is always sitting in meditation for the attainment of the favor of the Lord. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are advised to stop the business of annihilation, following the Rudra principle, while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on. Doesn't see Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaurabhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the last verse we saw, on the order of Brahma, Rudra created various generations, and who are all personification of anger and capacity as equivalent to Lord Rudra, Shiva himself. So now Brahma is instructing Rudra further what to do, because of the creation, what and all impact it had resulted in. Alam prajabihi sustabihi. See, he's saying, don't create this unnecessary population. Prajabihi, alam, these are unnecessary population. Idrishabihi surottama, of this type, of this nature. O best of the demigods. Maya saha dahantibir. They were burning everything, including me. Maya saha. Dushash chakshur ulbanaihi. From their eyes, there were fiery flames by which all directions were being burnt. And they even attacked me, and they even tried to burn me also, along with the entire nature. So this is the status. Now what he should do? Tapa atishta badramte. Accept tapasya, engage in tapasya. Badramte, it will bring good fortune upon all of you. Upon you and people in general also. Sarva bhuta sukha avaham. All living entities will be very much happy when you engage in tapasya. Tapaseva yata purvam. Only by tapasya you can create as it was before the creation. Shushta vishwam idam bhavan. Shushta, to create. Vishwam, this entire universe. Idam, as expected. Bhavan, yourself. And further he says, Tapasaiva param jyotir Bhagavantam adokshajam. So, tapasya only, by penance only, one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvak bhuta guha asavam, who is staying within the heart of all living entities. Anjasa vindate puman, by which one can completely understand about the Supreme Lord, who is adokshajam, beyond the sense perception. So, the primary advice given to Lord Shiva was, do not destroy while in the stage of creation and maintenance itself. Because everything has a specific time. So, destruction, when you are required, you will be called upon, then you can execute your duty. Till then, tolerate yourself and engage in tapasya. And he was advised to set an example for his generations whom he had created. Because yad acharati shreshtaha, Prabhupada is quoting from Bhagavad Gita, whatever great people perform, common men imitates. So Brahma was disgusted with the Rudra generations and afraid of being devoured by the increase of population, and asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted population. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are being advised, while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on, they should stop following the Rudra principle and thus cease their business of annihilation. So what is expected of these generations which had come from Rudra? To engage in tapasya, and when the time of dissolution comes, you will be invited for the task where you can destroy everything. So a couple of points for us to understand. One is, what is tapasya? We have heard this word many times, but Prabhupada has given various meanings for this word in either Bhagavatam purports or in various lectures. At least some of them we'll try to understand. Tapasya means voluntarily acceptance of bodily pains to achieve something higher end of life for spiritual realization. You sacrifice something to attain something superior. So this is one definition of tapasya. So Prabhupada, one more place he says, in the beginning one may feel some inconveniences, but if you tolerate, that is called tapasya. Tapasya means I am feeling some inconveniences bodily, but I am still tolerating. Tapasya means the demands of the body voluntarily reducing, almost coming to the point of nil. This is called liberation. This is called tapasya. Means anything for sense gratification will be neglected. Everything for spiritual realization will be accepted. Therefore, this movement is to give chance to the people how to think of Krishna constantly. The human form of life is meant for attaining jnana, and jnana means it is knowledge that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And this jnana can be attained only by tapasya. And if we attain knowledge and undergo austerities, then we become purified. So it's a systematic way. You engage in tapasya, you attain knowledge, by that knowledge you practice austerity, then finally you become purified. Even father will be enemy, what to speak of others. If you become Krishna conscious, the whole world will become your enemy. You should be prepared for that. So therefore, you are required to engage in tapasya. Tapasya means voluntarily agree to suffer. Suffering is there, but why not suffer for Krishna? This is called as tapasya. Tapasya means to revive our original normal life of Krishna consciousness. Tapasya is not possible for cats and dogs or animals. It is meant specifically for human form of life. Tapasa brahmacharyena. Tapasya means to remain brahmachari, which is very difficult. That's why it is called as tapasya. Because the whole world is attracted by sex life. Pumsam shriyam mituni bhavameta. Sense gratification and sex life are the one which are attracting the whole world in that direction. To restrain from them is the tapasya. Biggest tapasya is to maintain brahmacharya. So tapasya means even at the inconvenience of my personal comforts, I must abide by the orders of the spiritual master. This is called tapasya. I may like, but if Guru orders, you should not engage in that activity. I will refrain from that activity. I may not like, but if Guru had ordered me to engage in that activity, I will execute it still even though I may not like it. So this is what tapasya is. Tapasya means to undergo voluntarily some inconvenience of this body. Because we are accustomed to enjoy bodily senses, tapasya means to voluntarily give up the idea of sense gratification. Just like Ekadasi. Fasting once in 15 days, fortnight. Or fasting for some festival occasions. Tapasya is good even for health, and what to speak of advancing in Krishna consciousness. So accepting tapasya is good. And specifically Prabhupada has given us this tapasya of chanting 16 rounds and following the 4 regulative principles. So this is a tapasya for Kali Yuga. For other yugas, you may have to go to forest, sit in a meditative posture, severe austerities, All these things. It is not possible in Kali Yuga practically for us. So Prabhupada has simplified what is tapasya for us. Chanting the committed rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, and engaging in devotion service as maximum you can stretch in your body. But what happens current day scenario, people are not accustomed for all these tapasyas. So when I was studying, first time when I failed in one exam, it was very difficult for me to communicate to my parents also that they will be scolding me, all these things and all. Next time I should not fail, because that's a very bad feeling. One more thing is how others friends will see and how to improve my position. That was the whole understanding. So, but modern day kids, how do they perceive? A father was scolding his son because he had failed in one exam. From today, don't call me your father. You have made shame of me in front of all the people. The son is saying, relax dad, this is just a monthly test, not DNA test. So people will not be able to perceive. See, they take everything very, very cheap. They will not be able to see. The whole idea is you have to engage severely, seriously to achieve something. Like a scientist, they will spend years long of practice to find out something new. It's not that first attempt they did and everything was successful and everything came out very nicely. You learn, you fail, you learn, you fail. It's a continuous process. It's a rigorous process. Constantly thinking of only that subject. Beyond, they will not think anything beyond that subject also. So that's why when there is a tapasya, there is an output possible. The severity of the tapasya results in better results. But again, people of different category, when they engage in tapasya, different things are explained. People of sattva guna, when they engage in tapasya, it is for welfare of everyone. People of rajoguna, when they engage in tapasya, they want name, fame for themselves. They engage in tapasya for show off. But people of tamoguna, when they engage in tapasya, it is for destruction of others. They will simply create disturbance for others. So, tapasya of different categories of people and different results will be there. Now, the whole perspective here is not in the material context at all. Brahma is advising tapasya to understand about the Supreme Lord. That kind of tapasya we are asked to engage. So, similarly, in Bhagavatam we see there was one context when Brahma was when he was created. He was in confusion. What to do next? How to proceed? Because he was the only person, there was nothing around him. So at that time, he heard 2 words, tapaha, tapa. Twice he heard. So taking that as an indication of a superior personality, he engaged in tapasya, by which he was able to satisfy the Supreme Lord by his austerities, and Lord appeared before him. The 2nd canto, 9th chapter, 2 verses, Lord spoke to Brahma. What is the importance of tapasya? He says, Pratyadishtam maya tatra tvayi karma vimohite tapome hrudayam sakshat atmaham tapaso anaga. He said, O anaga, O sinless one, O Lord Brahma, maya pradishtam tvayi yatra. It was I who had first ordered you to engage in tapasya. Maya pradishtam, on my order, you engaged in tapasya. When you were perplexed in your duty, karma vimohite, you are in confusion, what to do? Karma vimohite. Me hrudayam sakshad atma, tapasya is my heart and soul. And aham tapasaha, therefore penance and I are non-different. See, Krishna is saying to Brahma, tapasya and I are non-different. And it is I who had ordered you to engage in tapasya. And this tapasya is my heart and soul. Means how important of tapasya it is. Here Brahma was used by the word anaga. Anaga means one who is sinless. So this is one qualification. Who can approach the Lord? Who can have audience with the Lord? who follows the order of the Lord as instructed and who is sinless in his endeavor. Only they can have perception of the Lord, not everyone and anyone. And this penance by which one is able to see the Lord face to face, Shri Radha Govinda ki, is called as devotional service. And it is an internal potency, that's why it is non-different from the Lord, Tapasya. And they are exhibited by non-attachment to material enjoyment. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one place Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, if sincerely one wants to engage in devotion service of the Lord and simultaneously wants to enjoy sense gratification, he is considered a fool only. Because one side you are saying, I wanted fire. Another side you are saying, I'll pour water on that fire. So when will you heat? If you want to cook something, the fire should be of heavy flame. Then cooking will be faster. You are saying, I'll put fire and I'll put water also. Then you will never be able to cook. We are wasting our endeavors. So penance in devotional service of the Lord, either voluntary submission or being forced by the Lord, is necessary for attaining perfection. So there are two things. Either you will be voluntarily surrendering to the Lord, or you will be forced to surrender unto the Lord. You don't have choice. Because once you come in front of Krishna and you say, from today I am yours. Either jokingly, if you say also, Krishna says, I have taken it so seriously. Even if the devotee runs away, I will pull him back by his hair and make him forcibly surrender unto me. So be careful when you come in front of Krishna, what you pray for. He will take it very seriously. Because Brahmaji was sinless, therefore he faithfully discharged the advice of the Lord. The Lord, being satisfied with him, awarded him the desired result. Therefore, only love and penance combined together can please the Lord. And one will be able to receive the complete mercy of the Lord. So, love and tapasya. That is the way how one can engage to attract the mercy of the Lord. And further, Lord continues. Shrujami tapasai vedam, grasami tapasa punaha, bibrami tapasa vishwam, viryam me dushyaram tapaha. So, Shrujami tapasa iva idam. It is by penance only this cosmos is created. Bibrami tapasa. I maintain this by the same energy. Grasami tapasa punaha. And it is by the same energy I destroy this cosmic manifestation. Therefore, viryam me dushyaram tapaha. Therefore, the principal power is penance only. The whole endeavor is by penance only. One will be able to create, one will be able to maintain, one will be able to destroy. So the whole tapasya for a devotee is how one will go back home, back to Godhead, and he will not be allured by all material sense gratifications. And Lord also sees how sincere and serious you are in trying to take these penances, austerities, to satisfy the Lord. And the orders received from either directly from the Lord or from the Guru, spiritual master, and to execute that order, however painstaking it is, it's a serious type of penance. So similarly, recently also there was one lecture we heard, I think CPP was giving on that 5.5.1, which explains about the difference between human form of life and animal form of life. Nayam deha bhajam nriloke kastan kaman arhate yad vibhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena satvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. So Rishabhadeva, while he instructing his sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj and other hundreds, altogether 100 sons, and to the common public also, there were many assembled people. The first instruction what he started was, Nayam deha bhajam, deho deha bhajam nruloke. In this human form of life, people should not be running behind these bodily necessities. Kastan kaman arhate yad vibhujam ye. The happiness and distress what you enjoy in this human form of life are available for even that stool eaters, dogs, pigs. Everybody are the same. The animals are also having, they are also going this happiness and distress. So what is the difference between that humans and animals? Tapo divyam, engaging in austerities for transcendental purpose. O Putraka, my dear sons, engaging in tapasya, ena sattvam, that is of sattva guna, that is of pure devotional service. Tapasya of purified nature, shuddhyet, will purify us. Yasmat, by which Brahma Saukyam, one attains transcendental happiness, which is Anantam, unlimited happiness. Everybody wants happiness, and everybody wants in a short way, and everybody wants that happiness to be never interrupted. So Lord Rishabhadeva is saying that happiness can be achieved only when you engage in the service of the Lord. By purification, the service of the Lord, when you engage the tapasya, it will help you to attain the transcendental, eternal abode of the Lord, which is having that unlimited, blissful, of unending nature. So here Prabhupada says, Dehabhak refers to one who has accepted this material body. But the living entity in the form of human form is better advised than the animal form. And human life is voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. Human life is meant for tapasya, austerity and penance. By tapasya only one can get out of this material clutches. And further in one more place, in 11th canto also, what is the purpose of this human form of life? Exactly to precise what one should do is clearly explained there. It says, Shravanam Kirtanam Dhyanam Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha. What one should do? Shravanam, hear about the Lord. Kirtanam, chant about the Lord. Dhyanam, one should meditate upon the Lord. About what? Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha, of the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, which are all beyond imagination. Adbhutaha, wonderful pastimes. Janma Karma Gunanamcha, and one should chant about Janma, his birth, Karma, his activities, Gunanam, his qualities. Tadarde, one should work for his satisfaction only. Akila Chestitam, one should offer everything of one's mind and intelligence for the service of the Lord. Istam Dattam Tapo Japtam. Istam, what is one's favorite things. Dattam, what you give charity. Tapaha, what you engage in tapasya. Everything should be for the service of the Lord. Japtam, whatever mantras you chant, you should be for the Lord's satisfaction. Vrittam Yat, whatever money one has to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Cha Atmanah Priyam, what is dear to oneself should be offered to the Lord. Daran, Sutan, Grihan, Pranan. What is dear to one is Daran, wife, Sutan, children, Grihan, house, Pranan, one's own life. Everything should be for the service of the Lord. Yat Parasmai Niveditam. One should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and offer everything what is once dear to the Lord. This is the purpose of human form of life. Very clear. Are we following this? First, are people aware that this is the purpose of human form of life? How one should lead one's life? Unfortunate situation is nobody is taught about this basic requirement. Everybody is taught eat, enjoy, be merry. The perspective of human form of life is wasted by living like animals. So what happens when we engage in austerity and we become angry? Anger is one which will destroy all our tapasya. So Bhagavatam says, Kshutrit Trikala Guna Maruta Jihva Saishnyam Asman Apara Jaladin Atitriya Kechid Krodasya yanti vifalasya vasam pade ghor madjanti dushara tapasya vruttot ushrujanti. Is it? Kechit atitriya asman. For people who are interested to practice severe penance, to cross beyond atitriya, to cross his material influence, apara jaladin, which is like an insurmountable ocean of kshut trut trikala guna maruta jaiva saishnam, which is an ocean of hunger, thirst, heat, cold, other conditions like various passing of time, trikalaha, and sensuous wind, urges of the tongue, sense organs. But one who is perfect in the process can gopade majjanti. It is easy. The ocean becomes like it is easy if you cross by engaging in tapasya. But if you are not serious in engaging in tapasya, you cross the ocean and drown in a small puddle, which is like the water in a calf's hoof. If you take support of the lotus feet of the Lord, you will be able to cross over the greatest ocean. But if you become proud and if you become unwanted anger, all these things and all your tapasya is like you cross the ocean and drown in a small hole. Yanti vifalasya krodasya vasham. One who is unable to control his anger. Dushara tapasya vrutta ushajam. It is like he has engaged in severe tapasya, but it is shramevahi kevalam. Like many people engage in tapasya, and sometimes if somebody comes to distract their tapasya, they curse him. And when you curse and when you become angry, you lose all your potency what you have done by earning in that tapasya. Many stories we have seen. So people lose all their capacities. So anger is the greatest obstacle for one engaging in tapasya. And Rudra is representing that anger principle. So that's why Brahma is instructing, if anger is there, then tapasya will not be fructifying. You have to seriously consider this as opportunity and engage in tapasya free from anger. And in spiritual life also, it is one important aspect is practicing in the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha. So every time, every Shastra glorifies about this Sadhu Sangha. So Narada Muni one day, he became very much intrigued. What is this Sadhu Sangha? What is the impact of this Sadhu Sangha? So when he visited Vaikuntha, he approached Lord Vishnu after paying respects and offering prayers. He had asked Lord Vishnu, my dear sir, every Shastra glorifies about Sadhu Sangha. Can you explain to me what is so special in Sadhu Sangha? So Lord Vishnu says, I can explain to you, but first you have to do a small activity for me. By his yogic power, Lord Vishnu shows on this planet of earth, there is one small town. In the town, there is one small tree. Under that tree, there was one cow dung beetle. You know, there will be beetles which will roll the cow dungs into small rolls, and it will be moving the cow dung. So he showed that, and Narada Muni was able to perceive it. He said, go and ask that beetle, what is the value of Vaishnava association? So Narada Muni, as instructed by the Lord, he went to that specific location. He saw that beetle, went to near that beetle, and he had asked, what is the impact of Vaishnava association? So that beetle saw Narada Muni top to bottom, gave a huge cry and died there. So he was surprised, he was shocked. I went to ask what is Vaishnava association, and this gave a huge cry and died. He went back to the Lord and reported everything had happened. Lord said, before this, I have one more activity. On the same tree, just now one egg has broken and there was one baby bird. You go and ask that baby bird. So again he came because Lord had ordered him. He climbed the tree, went to the nest, and he saw the bird and he said, what is the value of a momentary association of a devotee? That bird again made a huge sound and died. And Narada Muni was thinking, what is happening? I am supposed to do something good, but all these creatures are dying. He again went back to the Lord in a most situation, and he again explained to the Lord what had happened. Lord said, I will give you the answer. One more thing you have to do. Next to the tree there was one Goshala. Just now a cow has given a calf. You go and ask that calf. If that insect dies, nobody bothers. Some bird dies, nobody bothers. If I go and now something happens to that calf, the people will come to me. First thing is, I will be doing some gohatya. So, but Lord said, no, nothing will happen to you. No sin will come. You go and ask that calf. Pressured by the Lord, he came to that Goshala. Seeing that nobody is there, he went near the calf and he had asked, what is the impact of association? The calf said, Amba directly, and it also died. Now Narada Muni is fully devastated. So he went back to the Lord and he said, my dear Lord, what to do? This cow also died. He said, no, don't bother. No, just now the queen of that kingdom has given birth to a baby boy. You go and ask that baby boy. If that calf died, nobody bothered, nobody saw, I just ran away. Now if I go to the king, and if something happens to that boy, but Lord said, no, nothing, no bother, you go to him. So fearfully he came to the kingdom, he went to the king's palace. As soon as king got to know Narada Muni had come, he had welcomed him, washed his feet, and he said, just now I had a son, please bless my boy. He brought that son and put onto the lap of Narada Muni. So Narada Muni fearfully, anxiously asked that boy, what is the impact of Vaishnava association? And that boy began to start to speak. He said, my dear sir, the first time I saw, by your association, I evolved from that beetle to the bird, next from bird to the calf, and from that calf, I became the king of this kingdom. I became the heir to this kingdom. And I am sure this will be my last birth. Because of your association, I am assured I'll go back home, back to Godhead. So it's a simple principle, Vaishnava association. We don't know how it will impact. But this is what the process is. So this is referred in Puranas, and this is an authentic story. But the whole perspective is Vaishnava association is very rare. We should utilize it. So similarly, there is one more story about this Tapasya. In the 15th century, there lived a devotee in Jagannath Puri. His name was called as Gita Panda, because whole day he will be reciting Bhagavad Gita. He was married. He had 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. And they were so poor, he had to finish his daily recitation. Then he used to go to beg in the villages nearby. So there was a situation where there was drought, and the whole area was practically no proper food. Many people became beggars, and everybody were hardly they were getting food to survive for one time also. So in this house also, they were also starving for last 3 days. So wife was scolding the husband, why did I marry this person who can't even take care of his children and wife? So whole day he'll be sitting there and he'll be reading this Bhagavad Gita, which is of no value. Well, it will give food or what? Frustration, she started speaking. Husband is saying, why did I marry this such a horrible lady who doesn't know that the value of Bhagavad Gita? It is personally spoken by the Lord, who is an Lord Jagannatha himself in the form of Krishna. And it is a life instruction, and this is the duty Lord had instructed us. Recite Bhagavad Gita daily and then do your duties. And this lady will not peacefully do my duty also properly. So wife is scolding him, stop all this work. Can't you see that your children are crying? There for 3 days there was no food. Stop all these activities, go outside and beg. Then husband is saying, no, this is my primary duty. I will not budge anything before I finish my reading Bhagavad Gita. The wife became very angry. She said, where is it? Lord is saying that do your duty first. This is your duty. So he showed some of the instructions from Bhagavad Gita. Then she took one pen, striked off all that lines in Bhagavad Gita. She said, see, now that instruction is no more there. Now do what I am saying. I also learned Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, do your duty first. And your duty is because you have begotten these children, you have to maintain them. This is your duty. Like that, she started all symptoms. That devotee was feeling very bad. She had striken off Bhagavad Gita. He was crying, keeping that Bhagavad Gita on his chest, and He was praying to the Lord, please forgive him all these things and all. In that way, crying, he went into sleep. In the meantime, there was a knock on the house, the door. So one young boy had come with so many ingredients. The lady said, sir, please explain to me which house you wanted to go. I think you came to a wrong address. He said, no, I am a carrier of your friend, your husband's friend. Your husband knows, his name is Jaggu, and he had sent me all these items, rice, dal, all the ingredients. And their house was almost to the brim, so much ingredients were brought. She said, I think my husband is sleeping, I'll wake him up, and you have come in a long time, I cannot feed you also, please wait for some time, I'll cook something for you. He said, no, madam, thank you very much, I actually became late, or else I could have come little early, I could have honored, but I have to go and do many of my duties, I'm sorry for the delay, I have to receive. She said, at least one small something I'll make for you. He said, no, I can't eat, my tongue was scratched. Then she said, oh, such a horrible thing, who had done it for you? So mercilessly they had scratched your tongue. Now everything your husband knows, who had done all these things and all. So please excuse me, and he went away. So next moment, after some time, she prepared the food, and she woke up the children, and at the moment husband also woke up, and husband was confused, how so much food has come, how she was able to prepare, because there were no ingredients in the house. Then wife said, no, she had said that one guest, your friend had sent by name Jaggu. He had sent so many ingredients, and I am cooking for that purpose only. Then he also said that his tongue was scratched, and that he would not be able to honor. I had offered him something to make. Then Gita Panda could understand it was Lord himself who had come there. So immediately he asked his wife to come to the temple for darshan. When they went to have darshan of the Lord, when they saw Lord Jagannatha, they could see the Lord. It was the same person who has come, and his tongue was bleeding with blood because of the scratches on his tongue. Then the both wife and husband, they become so utterly desperate, and they start crying, and wife also realizes, what a great sinful activity I have done. I have actually did not trust, I did not have faith in the words of the Lord. Please forgive me, please excuse me. They had offered sincere prayers, all these things and all. Finally, Lord spoke to them by saying, do not worry. By this pastime, I want to show I am there for my devotees. I will take care. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. So this is the tapasya. If whatever is destined by the Lord, we have to practice it. Yadrashta lava santushtaha. We have to follow the situation. Whatever is sanctioned by the Lord, we have to be ready for that situation. We have to take all the austerities, and we should be ready to achieve the mercy of the Lord under the association of Vaishnavas, the greatest Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada. And I'm sure very soon we'll be able to come back to Godhead. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? Virendra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133